Hey YouTube, coming at you with a viewer submitted Great League team from Hero Ice, who is a member of the YouTube channel, so thank you for the support. Coming at me with EMOLGA, Dunsparce, and Primeape, and they say, "Hi Dan, I was working on building my EMOLGA for Color Cup, and I was curious how it performs in the Great League. I did well in the first set, 4-1, and then 0-5 in my second set. Definitely not an amazing team, but it's something that I'm trying to do better in terms of team building, as that's something that I struggle with a lot, and I'm hoping that I could take lessons I learned from a Great League and apply it to Color Cup when it comes out. Happy roasting this holiday season." So it's actually quite smart to think ahead. Just get used to a Pokemon that you could potentially have play in the other cups. Emolga is a really interesting one. I mean, right at the bat, I can see that your team lacks bulk. You have Emolga and Primeape, and Emolga's stat product. I've used Emolga a few times, and I always hated it. Despite it having a lot of strengths, right? So let's just talk about. So its stat product is the main thing holding it back. 127 attack, 111 defense, 123 stamina, 1753 overall. And the problem with that is it's a very not bulky Pokemon while not being your ultimate glass cannon. So you have a mixture of not hitting super hard while still taking a lot of damage. So that was sort of your main problem. But it's got a lot of things going for it. So first, let's start off with the buffed Thundershock, right? This is a Pokemon that got a buffed move. Discharge, I think that Discharge is my biggest problem because Discharge is not a great move for 45 energy. 45 energy, 78 damage. That's with same type attack bonus. So only a 1.73 damage per energy for a 45 move is not amazing. And that's with Stab. So it's not really, Discharge is not a great move. Acrobatics, obviously 60 for 132, 2.2 damage per, and it only takes 14 to get to, so it's not bad. And then you're typing Electric Flying, only weak to ice and rock, and then you resist steel, ground, grass, fighting, flying, and bug. And there's a lot of ground and some grass and fighting in this meta. So outside of your stat product, you should be a pretty strong Pokemon. But again, I think the problem is you're probably with this team, you're going to need shields for Emolga and you're going to need shields for Primeape. Which leaves you very vulnerable just off that. But yeah, let's take a look at it in action and see what happens here. So Emolga into Machamp. So this is a good lead, right? They're fighters. They get out into Dunsparce. So you're a flying Pokemon. So you're taking first of all, yeah. So first, I can see the hesitation leading into I should get to this move because it's going to hurt so much, while just completely ignoring that you have a Primeape in the back here. So I think just right off the bat, I could tell 2000 ELO range, Dunsparce, I have one of the hardest answers to Dunsparce and Primeape here. I should be instant swapping. But then you hesitated, you took super effective rollouts, many of them, and then by that time you're I can get an acrobatics off, it's going to hurt so much. But you don't need an acrobatics, you have a Primeape in the back here. So staying in to get off this acrobatics and now getting to Primeape, where you can now just farm down with Karate Chop, but you probably should just be making that swap instantly. And now because you let them farm so much, they can probably get to a move here. Rage Fist is resisted, so this won't take out. And now they're going to get to another move, which you're now going to have to burn a shield, right? So this is such an unnecessary burn of a shield here. You should have been in here immediately before to take that out with a line there with Primeape. So you got a good matchup here now that Karate Chop in. You already boosted with Rage Fist, so you get a second one off. So they shield. You're gonna get so you got the shield back and you still have alignment, which is good because you need alignment because you do not have the Dunsparce on this thing. And I guess with their Karate Chop, as long as you don't get baited here, so I think it's probably worth a shield. And honestly, I think even with the bait, you maybe get to the move first here. You do not. So they get to the move first, which is brutal. And it is a Stone Edge at that. So even the higher one. And now they're going to get to a Karate Chop. So a Cross Chop. So if you lose this matchup, which it looks like you're 100% going to lose this matchup now. Yeah, no, a little bit of rollout. I mean, they still have the Machamp, so it does not matter. They'll probably just eat it on whatever is in the back here. Even if it's super effective, it doesn't matter. No, they're coming in with the... I mean, it doesn't matter. You're already in the red and you just had to dump this energy. So unless it's a Talonflame... No, it's a Feraligatr. So this game's over. Because they should outpace you to the Hydro here. Yeah. So you lost this game when you didn't immediately swap into Primeape when they came with their Dunsparce, causing you to have to burn that shield and then just screwed up the rest of the game. Morpeko. This is bad. Because electric is neutral on their end and all your moves are resisted going back at them. I would say you have two better answers in the back here. So eventually coming in with Primeape. Going to burn a shield because Psychic Fangs will be super effective. And they eventually catch on a Skeletor. So that's unfortunate that that full Incinerate went through. You did chip though. And you'll get to a move here. So actually good timing on that one. 8 versus 10. That's kind of where you want to be. So grab the shield. But this, now they can fully farm down. Yeah, so now they just fully farm down. The EMOLGA comes in. I don't mind throwing it right away to win CMP there, but they decided to get the extra Incinerate through, which is fine. And then going to try and now, I was going to say snipe, but you're not really sniping. And my only concern is you now just gave up your only real play against Morpeko here. Maybe you've chipped it enough. You actually may have chipped it enough with the Karate Chops on Primeape to put it within like an acrobatics range because it's very, very glossy. But now you just burn the shield on this thing, which I don't think you can do because I think you need it for EMOLGA here. But let's see what happens. And now trying to catch, but this thing's too glassy, so I think you just caught a move that may take you out. And it's a wild charge, so that definitely takes you out. Hoping now you need like a rollout, but they'll body slam you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like the shield. I don't like the shield on the Dunsparce. You need to recognize there that EMOLGA is your win con there, even if you still have a Morpeko left. So good lead and a great swap too. So they went from a Talonflame to a Superior. So great sort of core breaker here. Taking a resisted Frenzy, and that's the problem, right? The Frenzies are going to outpace you because they have a 2-turn move and they're going to outpace you to the Frenzies. And if they shield the Acrobatics, those Frenzies do over 50% because you're so glassy. You now need to shield this. They can now bait Air Lace to a certain extent. Nope, they just go straight Frenzy. So going for the bait here. Again, I don't love the bait here. It's very risky. Okay, you got the shield, which is great. So now you can outpace here. So baiting does allow you to outpace here. But you got to throw it pretty soon after here. So going to throw the Acrobatics just to ensure alignment. Because you really need that Dunsparce on the Talonflame here. So they do come in here. You just have to hopefully get to a discharge. If not, yeah, you have to eat it. There's no real option here. And then instant swap, getting the moved bank. But now you let them get to a Power Whip. Or is that just a mirror shot? No, it's a Power Whip. Which means you need to throw here. Which means that Talonflame can now come in and incinerate you down. And come out with a move for your... But now do they have two moves is the question because you have a move here. Okay. Or if... actually, I don't even think a Brave Bird would have taken you out from this range. So maybe banking a move was actually not a bad idea. Ariados. So what would be Ariados' second move here? If it's a poison, it's neutral. If it's bug, it's resisted. Yeah, so it's just a lunge and that's resisted. Just going straight for the discharge. Acrobatics would be super effective, but just going straight for the discharge. Do grab a shield and now trying to line up that acrobatics. But you can see like how much, even though lunge is resisted, has done to this Pokemon. That resisted lunge and these poison stings are put this down to like the yellow. And that's always been the problem with the EMOLGA. It's just so glassy. But hello, Azumarill. But your attack is 2 times lower, so it probably isn't going to do a ton. No, they're not even in the yellow after that. Hopefully we get to another move here. We can, so that's just nice spammy, right? Only 10 to the discharge. So even though this discharge is not a great move, between that and the buffed Thunder Shocks, able to take this down to the yellow. So Dunsparce can just kind of sweep up and take the move here. Take the Ice Beam. What's in the back? Primeape. I actually don't mind staying in and getting this drill run off to put some pressure on a shield or take it low enough that it's now just 2 Rage Fist. Now, Yeah, but the counters are now going to add up is the only problem here. You almost had to shield. It's going to be really tight because they're just going to... Whoa. No, no, no. They had to shield that. What were they doing? I don't know what your opponent was doing there. They had to shield and try and just out-counter you for the rest of the way. Okay, good lead. Well, you know what? This thing has Rock Slide, so maybe it's not an amazing lead. And going for a bait here. Again, I don't like a bait. It's so risky. Yeah, both times I've said that you've gotten the shield, so... You do you. You don't... I mean, just because I don't like baiting doesn't mean you have to follow my instructions. You can bait if you want to, and you just successfully baited twice. My personal opinion is, giving up switch 2 into a Primeape where these mud slaps are adding up. And now the Bone Club takes you to the yellow, and they have back-to-back moves here, so if you want to save this, you need anything to burn. Primeape is a good safe swap. It's not a good swap when you're behind on energy, right? And that's the problem. So you just came from a... Primeape is a fine safe swap, but you just came into a loaded Pokemon and just burned 2 shields. Luckily, they were too slow getting out, so they let you get to 2 moves, and you baited a Rage Fist and then landed a close combat. So that took out the Greninja, and now you have your alignment here, Dunsparce versus Dugong. So again, what should be... This is why I don't think EMOLGA is good. What should be a fantastic lead, a flyer electric versus a grass type Pokemon, even with resisted grass type moves really adding up. Now they just went Leaf Tornado and you landed a friggin acrobatics, so it looks easier than it could have been, right? Because if you went straight acrobatics and they went straight frenzy, that's actually a pretty close matchup. They get off 3 frenzies by the time you got off 3 acrobatics. So it would be, again, closer than you'd want it to be. So Dunsparce on the Charge Bug, and out comes Greninja. You're out of move, so I don't mind throwing here, but you should be instant swapping into your Karate Chop user here. Now, you definitely have to burn 1. They may, because they got 2, 3, they may outpace you to the close combat. Oh, no. You can't go Rage Fist because this is resisted. If you want to take it out, you got to take it out. Because now you got to shield this up. I mean, you will come out with energy. You will come out with energy and boost it already. But having to burn your last shield there is always a little risky. Because now you burn your last shield. You'll get another Rage Fist off. But now they get to a charge move. Has to be discharged because X-Scissor is resisted. Or they could just throw an X-Scissor resisted because you're in the 2000 range. Sure. So... Again, you're lucky they only went X-Scissor. If they went Discharge, you're probably taken out, or if, like 1 HP. Primeape, good lead. They get out into Typhlosion, and again, you can just see your Well, you can see your hesitation, and I think this is just something that I don't know, could be from inexperience. It could be that you just don't know all your typings. But a Typhlosion comes in and you have a Pokemon with literally only rock and ground type moves, which is super effective against everything. So basically you stayed in with a bunch of Thunder Shocks and then had to burn a shield on the Thunder Punch because the Incinerate and Thunder Punch would add up so much. So now you're coming into this great matchup, but down a shield here, which already put you in sort of a weird spot. Now I would get this move out. No. Going to just commit to the farm down and double shielding here. So shielding a Blast Burn, committing to the rollout down to come out with energy. But out comes the Primeape. So you need to go like back to back here to burn the clock and then get out. Yeah, okay, so let's see what happens here. So you may grab a shield here. They want to just like keep this alive. They could just out farm and get to a close combat. Yeah, that's smart timing on your opponent's end. This should, if it's a close combat, it should take you out, which they should be throwing. Yep, that's smart. Because now they still may get to a move. If not, going Salazzle in the back here. So getting a Rage Fist off, which again, Salazzle's so glassy, but it's so attack heavy though. So this should chip you so much, and you try and snipe with this, and your timing should not have been messed up, but you got hit by the 1-turn leg there. You got screwed there because you should be coming in right away and get 2 Thunder Shocks off at 4 turns and land your charge move before their first Incinerate ends. But because the game screwed you in the 1 turn coming in, you got screwed there. But like, does not take away the fact that you misplayed early in the matchup. That probably cost you that game anyways. But the game did not help you at the end there. Okay, came in with a Primeape just to get met by Wiggly, which is insanely difficult. And now you got to burn a shield on the EMOLGA because you're so glassy. Misaligned time, so you let a full charm through. Discharge does not take out. You're going to have to get to another one, throw it ASAP to try and get this out of here. But you're already in the red. Damage is done. And they still didn't even get taken out. I know you thought they got taken out because I would have thought so too. But I guess lowering your attack with Icy Wind and then Discharge, like I said, not a great move. So they lived that. So you came in and just gave up Switch. But, you know, I won't blame you for that because it looked closer than it was. No, it didn't look closer than it was. I thought that would have been taken out. Getting the draw run off. Again, Azumarill so tanky that's not going to take it out anyways, but they do shield. Dunsparce is very spammy here, so going to just keep launching these drill runs. I don't even know if a play rough takes out Dunsparce. Dunsparce is just pretty damn tanky. Yeah, so you do live. And going for a couple more roll-outs, and then trying for like a catch, and then the low kicks comes in. That's just gonna take you out real quick. You have a super effective Rock Slide, but I don't even know if this takes out non-stab. I know low kicks is glassy, but yeah, it does not take them out, and then you lose. Yeah, Primeape is a tough. I know Primeape is the #1 ranked safe swap, but man, just get hit with the Charmer. I don't know whether you just call that unlucky or just like the flaws of this Pokemon. Tough to tell. Okay, Dunsparce against EMOLGA. Tough lead. So you come in mirror match, or you just, yeah, you got to come mirror match, because if you come in with a fighter, they probably have a fighting answer in the back. So coming in behind an energy just to soft lose this is not the worst idea. They're just going to stay in this matchup and finally go into a Azumarill, right? There's your answer to the fighter in a Azumarill. This is why, if you're new to this channel, or if it has not been drilled into your head yet, you cannot, if there's a Pokemon on the lead, for which you have like one of the only answers in the back, you cannot come into that answer immediately because they definitely have that answer beat in the back. So they had a Dunsparce on the lead. Dunsparce only has one weakness in fighting. You cannot come in with your fighter because they're going to have an answer to fighter in the back, and that fighter in the back is an Azumarill, so it would have actually killed you. And you came into a EMOLGA down shields, which just got hit with an Ice Beam to take you to the red. So really rough here. In terms of team building, you basically need to replace Primeape with like a heavy ground Pokemon, like a Clodsire or something like that, because you still want to try and answer your Steel weakness, because Discharge is resisted in you got to answer like a ground Steel weakness here, because Discharge is resisted on ground, and then Acrobatics is resisted on Steels. So you kind of need to, not that there's a ton of like Steelix and stuff running around, but that's what you're trying to cover. So I'd do it with like a Clodsire or something like that in the back to give you a little more bulk and cover your like Steel and potential other like Dunsparce type weaknesses here, because that's where you're struggling here with bulk. And getting a Wiggly on your Primeape does not help again. Okay, Feraligatr. Good lead. They get into Jump Bluff. So I would throw the... Oh yeah, you have Acrobatics, which is also super effective. So I'm going to throw the Acrobatics. And then once you grab the shield, getting into the Dunsparce here. Up a shield. It is just an Aerial Ace. Dunsparce is taking enough to take that. Roll-outs are super effective. So you could farm up a little bit. Not too much though, so just throwing the sort of mistimed Rock Slide here. And then they give up into Diggersby, because your switch clocks are very desynced, because you waited and got the Acrobatics off, so now they're very desynced. And now you're staying in when they're going to come into the farm down. So that's not great because you you hesitate. I saw you almost clicked it. You almost clicked on your Primeape to come in immediately, but then decided to just like burn it, like play the matchup out so you can keep switch. But now you're so far behind on energy here that we're shielding up a move, and they can bait because they know that. So they just baited their first move because they're at like 100 energy. So they baited a Fire Punch and now landed a Scorching Sands. And now they come in Jump Bluff, going straight Rage Fist. And now you just can't. Oh, jeez, I get to a move too. So now you got to cut the shield. And they finally come back in Diggersby. Yes, I know Rage Fist is resisted, but you kind of have to just throw this just to like chip a bunch. And they may get to a move. And now you got to come into the aggressive Thundershock down. But then with the shield advantage, they just probably come Feraligatr and just take you out ASAP. Unless they're switch locked. And if they're switch locked, which it looks like they were, then that may allow you to get to a move. But you may still be half a turn behind here. Yeah, you're one turn behind. So a Hydro will take you out. So in that, I know I say like don't give up switch. You don't have to. That's one there where you probably should get out of that matchup because you basically just stayed in with your Dunsparce where a rollout was resisted. And yes, you got to draw one off. But then you have two very glassy Pokemon and an absolutely loaded, like 12, 13 turn loaded fast move Diggersby, which can really put pressure on your Pokemon. And that's exactly what happened. Put pressure on your first shield with Primeape, got it, baited, land a Scorching Sand, put you low enough, and it just caused the like ripple effect on that game there. So yeah, I think a little more bulk in the back will probably help you out there. But thanks for the submission. I'm trying my best. I think I actually will be able to. There's a I didn't know if I would do 2 videos a day, but I had a couple of my own teams plus now a couple submissions here. And I was able to kind of do a couple videos per day even with my parents here. So I should still, this will be the, is this the first on the Saturday or is this the second? No, the Sableye was the first one on the Saturday. So Sableye was the first one on the Saturday. This will be the second. And I'll try and do another Great League submitted team tomorrow morning, Sunday. And then a very, very quick coverage for the New Year's event Sunday afternoon. And then we'll do my wrap-up discussion on the 30th with one more other team on the 30th. So look at us still grinding through the Christmas break here. And finally, my first video that's actually getting back on track here. The spammiest top-ranked Meta Great League team. Very kind of clickbaity, but not really. It is a very, very, very strong team. With Primeape, like getting views 2 to 3 times higher than every other video that I had this past week, except for the Beyond the Hype and the top teams. But the rest of them, minimum 2 to 2.5 times Unova, Joltik, Zygarde. Yeah, though they were all at like 1,000, and this one's at 2.6 after 5.5 hours. So nice to see that. Hopefully we just get this train back going. I don't even know what I'm saying. Get this rolling again as we get out of Christmas here. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.